In an era where air dominance defines national security, the Philippines faces mounting challenges across its 7,600 islands. The Philippine Air Force, or PAF, stands as the nation's shield, its strength now more critical than ever. The West Philippine Sea is a flashpoint with foreign vessels testing the country's resolve and sovereignty. Without credible air power, the Philippines risks losing control over its territory and maritime lifelines. The PAF's journey is one of struggle and resurgence, clawing back from near obsolescence to a force in transformation. We'll uncover how the PAF evolved, what it can do today, and where it still falls short. This is a story of resilience of a nation determined to defend its skies, the stakes national survival in a region fraught with tension. Join us as we reveal the true state of the Philippine Air Force in 2025. How strong is the PAF? Let's find out. The PAF's rebirth began with a harsh lesson: neglect left the nation exposed. The 1990s saw the Philippines powerless as foreign forces encroached on its territory. This vulnerability sparked a national commitment to rebuild air defenses. By 2025, the PAF is transforming thanks to the Armed Forces Modernization Program. Supersonic jets like the FA-50PH now patrol the skies, restoring lost capabilities. New air defense systems and surveillance assets strengthen the nation's watch over its vast seas. Yet modernization is more than hardware, it's about people, strategy, and overcoming persistent gaps. The next phase, Horizon 3, aims for true multi-role fighters and a credible deterrent. The PAF is still a force in transition, but it's more prepared than ever to defend the nation. The challenge remains, but the resolve is stronger. The PAF's golden age in the 1950s and 60s saw it as a regional powerhouse thanks to close U.S. ties. Filipino pilots flew advanced jets like the F-86 Sabre, projecting strength and professionalism. The PAF's aerobatic teams like the Blue Diamonds showcased skill and confidence across Asia. Regular joint exercises and steady equipment flow kept the force sharp and respected. The arrival of the F-5 Freedom Fighter in the 70s extended this era of excellence. The PAF was a key player in Southeast Asian security, its reputation built on discipline and capability. This golden age set a high bar, one that would make the coming decline all the more painful. The legacy of this era still shapes the PAF's ambitions today. The PAF's decline began in the late 80s, accelerated by the U.S. withdrawal and economic crisis. Budget cuts and shifting priorities left the Air Force with aging, grounded jets and dwindling resources. By 2005, the last F-5s were retired, leaving the Philippines without supersonic air defense for the first time in decades. The PAF became a transport and disaster relief force, unable to deter modern threats. The 1995 Mischief Reef incident exposed this weakness. China built structures in Philippine waters and the PAF could only observe. The nation's inability to defend its territory was a national humiliation. The loss of air power left a void in the country's defenses, starkly illustrating the cost of neglect. The once proud guardian of the skies had become a bystander. This low point set the stage for a hard-fought recovery. The lesson was clear: sovereignty demands air power. The loss at Mischief Reef forced the Philippines to confront its vulnerability. Years of neglect had left the nation unable to defend its maritime domain. The Armed Forces Modernization Act was revived, aiming to rebuild air and naval power in phases. The PAF's top priority: restore the ability to detect and intercept threats. The arrival of FA-50PH jets in 2015 marked a turning point. Supersonic capability returned. These fighters, equipped with modern radar and weapons, became symbols of renewed resolve. Modernization expanded to include new transports, helicopters, and surveillance drones. The process was slow, but each step rebuilt lost capabilities. The PAF's rebirth is a testament to hard lessons learned. In a dangerous world, only those who control the sky can defend their nation. By 2025, the Philippine Air Force's combat capability is revitalized, centered around the FA-50PH Fighting Eagle. This fleet represents the nation's return to supersonic fighters. The FA-50PH serves as the primary interceptor and multi-role platform. These aircraft symbolize the nation's commitment to protecting its airspace. The Fighting Eagle is armed with a cannon and can carry air-to-air missiles and bombs. The FA-50PH fleet has become the face of the new Philippine Air Force. However, the designation light fighter also hints at its limitations. A modern Air Force fights not just with speed and firepower, but with information. Recognizing this, A key focus has been the rapid development of its intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance (ISR) capabilities. By 2025, the Air Force has assembled a diverse fleet of assets designed to provide these crucial eyes in the sky. This network of manned and unmanned platforms gives commanders a clearer picture. From tracking vessels leading this charge are the Air Force's unmanned aerial systems, or drones equipped with high-resolution cameras. Complementing the drones are manned ISR aircraft, including the Gulfstream G280 command and control aircraft. This layered ISR architecture represents one of the most significant capability improvements for the Air Force. The ability to see and understand the battle space is a fundamental prerequisite for defending it. While fighter jets grab headlines, the Philippine Air Force's backbone is its transport and helicopter fleet. For a nation battered by disasters, moving personnel and relief is critical. In 2025, the PAF's capabilities are stronger than ever, serving as first responders and connecting remote communities. The S-70I Blackhawk has revolutionized tactical mobility. This fleet has become the go-to asset for disaster response. In 2025, the combined strength of its fixed-wing and rotary-wing transport fleet makes the PAF a highly capable force. For decades, Philippine air defense was solely reliant on fighter aircraft. If a threat could get past the jets, there was, honestly, no last line of defense. This critical vulnerability has been addressed with one of the most significant new capabilities introduced under the modernization program, a ground-based air defense system. By 2025, the Philippine Air Force has begun to establish a new and formidable defensive shield with the acquisition of the Spider air defense system from Israel. This marks a historic shift in the nation's defense posture, introducing a layered missile defense capability that the country has not possessed in the modern era. It provides a crucial layer of protection for high-value military and strategic civilian sites. The Spider system, which stands for Surface-to-Air Python and Derby, is a mobile, quick-reaction system designed to intercept a wide range of aerial threats. It can engage enemy aircraft, helicopters, unmanned aerial vehicles, and even precision-guided munitions. The PAF has acquired the medium-range variant, which consists of a command and control unit, a radar, and multiple missile firing units. This configuration allows the PAF to create a defensive bubble over a specific area, detecting and engaging hostile targets at a significant distance. The system's mobility is a key advantage, as it can be redeployed to protect different locations as strategic priorities change, making it a flexible and unpredictable deterrent for any potential aggressor. The initial batteries of the Spider system are strategically deployed to protect key air bases and critical infrastructure around the national capital region. This ensures that the PAF's own combat aircraft have a protected environment from which to operate, and that the nation's command and control centers are shielded from a surprise air attack. The introduction of this system has required the PAF to develop an entirely new skill set among its personnel, training a new corps of air defense operators, technicians, and tacticians. This investment in human capital is just as important as the hardware itself, creating a sustainable and professional ground-based air defense force for the future. While the current number of Spider batteries provides only point defense for select areas, it represents a foundational capability that the PAF intends to expand. Future acquisitions under the modernization program are expected to procure additional batteries, allowing the Air Force to create a more comprehensive and integrated air defense network across the archipelago. This system, when networked with the PAF's new radar stations and fighter aircraft, will create a multi-layered defense-in-depth strategy. In 2025, this new shield is still taking shape, but honestly, its very existence has fundamentally altered the strategic calculus for any adversary, forcing them to contend with a far more resilient and dangerous Philippine air defense environment. The FA-50PH Fighting Eagle highlights the Philippine Air Force's most significant weakness: the absence of a true multi-role fighter. The FA-50PH is fundamentally a light combat aircraft. It was never intended to go head-to-head with advanced fighter jets. This creates a capability gap when comparing the PAF to other major air forces in the region. Its radar lacks the sophistication of modern fighters. This limitation effectively cedes the long-range air combat advantage to any modern foe. This fighter gap directly impacts the PAF's ability to establish air superiority. The FA-50PH was a necessary first step, but not the final destination. The acquisition of a proper multi-role fighter is the highest priority. An air force is effectively blind without a reliable early warning system. Critical gaps remain in the Philippines' ground-based radar network due to its geography. Significant blind spots exist, especially over the West Philippine Sea. These gaps mean hostile aircraft could approach undetected, reducing reaction time. The AFP modernization program is addressing this, replacing old equipment with new radar systems. Creating an integrated air defense system requires secure communication links. A robust early warning network would allow the PAF to detect threats hundreds of kilometers away. You cannot fight what you cannot see. An Air Force's power projection is measured by its reach. In 2025, the Philippine Air Force's reach is limited by the absence of aerial refueling capabilities. This curtails patrolability and time on station. Aerial refueling would double the fighter fleet's range. The PAF also lacks long-range strike platforms. It has no aircraft to hold distant targets at risk, a key deterrent component. This limits its ability to shape the strategic environment. This short reach defines the PAF in 2025. It lacks the legs to project power or hold an adversary's assets at risk. In modern air warfare, quantity has a quality all its own. The Philippine Air Force faces a significant challenge in terms of sheer numbers. The entire supersonic combat fleet consists of just 12 FA-50PH Fighting Eagles. This is an exceptionally small number for the Philippines' vast size. This small fleet size severely limits the PAF's capacity to conduct simultaneous operations. The lack of depth would be a critical weakness. While the PAF has acquired modern ISR platforms, the numbers are still very limited. Similarly, the acquisition of the Spider air defense system is a major step forward, but can only provide point defense for a few key locations. The PAF has acquired quality platforms, but not in sufficient quantity. This lack of strategic depth is a direct consequence of decades of underfunding. In 2025, the PAF remains a force stretched thin. The centerpiece of the Philippine Air Force's future rests on the successful implementation of Horizon 3 of the AFP modernization program. This phase is defined by the acquisition of a true multi-role fighter, or MRF. The MRF program is designed to finally close the critical fighter gap. As of 2025, the PAF's MRF acquisition project has advanced, with two primary contenders emerging: the American-made Lockheed Martin F-16V Viper, and the Swedish Saab JAS-39 Gripen CD. The decision involves a complex calculation of cost, capability, geopolitical alignment, and long-term sustainment. The PAF is seeking an initial acquisition of at least 12 aircraft to form its first proper MRF squadron. The successful procurement will represent the single most important leap in Philippine defense capability in over 50 years. Beyond the high-profile quest for a new fighter, Horizon 3 places a massive emphasis on building a truly integrated air defense system, or IADs. The initial acquisition of the Spider missile system under Horizon 2 provided a much-needed point defense capability, but it was really only the beginning. The goal of Horizon 3 is to expand this defensive shield, creating a multi-layered network that can protect not just a few key locations, but wider swaths of the nation's territory. This involves acquiring additional ground-based air defense systems to increase the number of protected areas, effectively creating more bubbles of security over critical military installations, government centers, and vital economic hubs across the archipelago. A core component of this strategy is the continued expansion and networking of the nation's radar infrastructure. The PAF is actively pursuing the acquisition of more long-range air surveillance radar systems, with Japan being a key partner in this endeavor. These new radars, with their extended range and advanced detection capabilities, are being strategically placed to eliminate the blind spots that currently exist, particularly over the vast maritime approaches to the country. The ultimate vision is to create a seamless, overlapping field of radar coverage, ensuring that no threat can approach the Philippines undetected. This comprehensive vision is the foundation upon which the entire integrated air defense system will be built. Crucially, Horizon 3 focuses on the integration aspect of the IADs. This means creating the secure high-speed data links and command and control software necessary to network all defensive assets together. In this future system, a threat detected by a long-range radar in Palawan could be tracked by the National Air Defense Headquarters in real time, which could then assign the optimal weapon to engage it. This could be an FA-50PH fighter, a future MRF, or a ground-based Spider missile battery. This network-centric approach makes the entire system more efficient, resilient, and lethal. allowing commanders to make faster, better-informed decisions, and ensuring that the right shooter is always connected to the right sensor. This expanded and integrated shield is designed to dramatically raise the cost of any potential air attack on the Philippines. An adversary would no longer be able to exploit gaps in radar coverage or simply overwhelm a single-point defense system. They would have to contend with a comprehensive, multi-layered defensive network that can detect threats from further away and engage them with a variety of weapons systems. The development of this IADs under Horizon 3 is a clear signal that the Philippines is moving beyond basic territorial defense and is building a sophisticated, modern defensive posture capable of deterring and defeating 21st-century aerial threats, making any aggression a far more risky and costly proposition. While fighters and missiles form the sharp end of the spear, Horizon 3 of the modernization program also prioritizes the acquisition of critical support assets that act as force multipliers, enhancing the awareness and reach of the entire Philippine Air Force. A key area of development is the planned expansion of the unmanned aerial system fleet. Building on the success of the Hermes 900 and 450 drones, the PAF is looking to procure additional medium-altitude, long-endurance platforms. This will allow for more persistent ISR coverage over multiple areas simultaneously, providing continuous 24/7 surveillance of the West Philippine Sea, the Sulu Sea, and other areas of strategic interest without interruption. Furthermore, the PAF is exploring the acquisition of drones with strike capabilities. This would add a new dimension to its unmanned fleet, transforming them from passive eyes in the sky into active hunter-killer platforms. Armed drones could be used to conduct precision strikes against terrorist groups or other non-state threats with minimal risk to Filipino personnel. In a maritime context, they could provide a rapid and potent response to hostile small vessel activity, offering a persistent armed overwatch capability that is more economical than deploying a manned fighter jet for the same mission. This evolution of the drone program is a major priority for enhancing the PAF's tactical flexibility. Addressing one of its most significant limitations, the PAF has also identified the acquisition of a dedicated aerial refueling capability as a long-term goal within Horizon 3. The introduction of tanker aircraft would be a revolutionary development, fundamentally changing the PAF's operational calculus. It would allow the future multi-role fighters to patrol further, stay on station longer, and project power across the entirety of the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. This capability would effectively multiply the endurance and range of the entire combat fleet, transforming the PAF from a purely homeland defense force into one with a more meaningful strategic reach, capable of sustained operations far from its home bases. Finally, Horizon 3 also includes plans for acquiring additional tactical and strategic airlift aircraft. This is to ensure that the PAF can rapidly deploy and sustain forces across the archipelago, a crucial requirement for both internal security operations and national disaster response. More C-130 or similar strategic airlifters alongside additional C-295 tactical transports will enhance the mobility of the entire armed forces of the Philippines. This next wave of support assets, more drones, potential strike UAS, future tankers, and expanded airlift, is designed to create a more balanced, resilient, and far-reaching air force capable of seeing further, flying longer, and responding faster to the full spectrum of national security challenges. To gauge the Philippine Air Force's strength, it must be measured against its Southeast Asian peers. The PAF lags behind top-tier air forces like Singapore, which has advanced fighters and aerial support. Regional powers such as Indonesia and Malaysia also field more potent combat fleets. This places the Philippines in the lower tier of regional air forces concerning air-to-air combat power. The PAF has made strategic investments in ISR and helicopter operations, developing significant capabilities. Its focus on maritime surveillance and internal security provides a different kind of strength. The on-paper comparison of aircraft fleets doesn't capture the Philippine Air Force's true strength. Its robust network of international alliances acts as a powerful force multiplier. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, is a cornerstone of this relationship, providing invaluable training opportunities. The alliance hardens the PAF by embedding it within a technologically advanced security architecture. Partners like South Korea and Israel provide key platforms like FA-50PH jets and missile systems. These alliances offer intelligence sharing, logistical support, and a powerful diplomatic deterrent. This alliance advantage is its most potent weapon. While discussions of Air Force strength often gravitate towards fighter jets and combat power, there's a critical and often overlooked dimension: the capability for humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, or HADR. In this specific area, the Philippine Air Force stands out as a genuine regional leader and a highly effective force. Situated right within the Pacific Ring of Fire and the Typhoon Belt, the Philippines is actually one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world. This harsh reality has shaped the PAF's force structure and doctrine, basically compelling it to develop a world-class proficiency in responding to natural calamities. And this capability is not just a secondary mission, it's a core competency and a vital pillar of national resilience. The backbone of this HADR strength is the PAF's large and modernizing fleet of transport and helicopter assets. By 2025, the force's robust inventory of C-130 Hercules and C-295 fixed-wing aircraft allows it to move large quantities of relief supplies, rescue personnel, and equipment rapidly across the archipelago. Even more importantly, its growing fleet of over 32 S-70Y Black Hawk helicopters provides an unmatched ability to reach communities that are isolated by floods, landslides, or damaged infrastructure. These helicopters can perform precision airlifts, evacuate casualties from remote areas, and deliver life-saving aid directly to those who need it most, often operating in challenging weather and terrain where, honestly, no other help can reach. The PAF's extensive experience in this field has made it a highly sought-after partner for international HADR exercises and a dependable first responder in regional crises. Filipino aircrews have decades of institutional knowledge in navigating the complex logistics of large-scale disaster response. They're experts at setting up forward operating hubs, managing air traffic in congested disaster zones, and coordinating with civilian agencies and international aid organizations. This expertise means that when a super typhoon makes landfall, the PAF isn't just reacting, it's executing well-rehearsed plans with speed and efficiency, saving countless lives through its timely and professional intervention. This strength in HADR provides the Philippines with a powerful tool for soft power and military diplomacy. The PAF's ability to respond effectively not only serves its own people, but also allows it to offer assistance to neighboring countries in their time of need, building goodwill and strengthening regional ties. While the PAF may trail its neighbors in terms of fighter capability, its standing as a leader in airlift and disaster response is undisputed. In a region where the threat of natural disasters is as constant as any geopolitical tension, this aspect of the PAF's power is immensely valuable, proving that the strength of an air force can also be measured in the number of lives it saves. In 2025, the Philippine Air Force reclaims its sovereignty from the skies. It is stronger, more modern, and more capable than it has been in over 4 decades. The force is no longer blind thanks to a growing network of radars and sophisticated surveillance drones. Its helicopter and transport fleets are more robust than ever, but this rebirth is not yet complete. The PAF is not yet strong enough to deter a major external threat on its own, lacking a true multi-role fighter. It has transformed itself into a respectable guardian, but the journey ahead remains. The future of the Philippine Air Force hinges on its modernization, especially Horizon 3. Acquiring a multi-role fighter will transform the service, providing the platform needed to establish air control. Expanding the radar and ground-based air defense network is critical. Aerial refueling tankers will overcome the limitation of short reach. The journey ahead faces challenges, including funding and political will. Sustainability depends on investing in training and professional development. The Philippine Air Force is flying forward, better equipped and trained to meet future challenges. The future of the nation is being forged within it.